Well, hello, everybody. As many of you may have heard, I don't think Steve's going to make it by with us tonight. He had a previous engagement, so we're going to do best we can without him. I tried getting Clyde to come on here. I tried getting Brandy. Nobody wanted to come hang out with me, guys. I guess they're scared I'm going to make fun of them or something. So, good day there, Chris. Hello, Tom. Gillette, Brian, Sharon, Aaron, everybody. Yeah, y'all get to see Clean Clack tonight. I just got off the bush hog. Brandy actually texted me a little while ago and was like, "Hey, it's like 6:40 or 6:38 or something like that." Or yeah, and so I was on the bush hog, so I had to go get a shower because it is dusty around my area here, and so I was like covered in dust. So y'all get to see Clean me tonight. So how's everybody doing? And anybody got anything special? Anything like that we need to discuss? What's up, barbecue bullets and big rigs? That one gets me every time. What's up, Steven? Hello, how are y'all? Guys, the L2, I am still awaiting something from Aitzer. The L2 is still down, but well, he's right here beside me. He's in my co-pilot seat. I actually stuck him over here to the side of one of my enclosures. I put me a little curtain up there today to try to keep some of that heat. Since I've got that thing boxed in, I figured if I put a curtain up there, maybe it'd keep some of that heat up there. And would make my air conditioner do a little bit better because it has gotten hot down here, guys. Oh, wait a minute. We got a question. Is there a way to get the laser? Yes and no. The home location always needs to be your starting location. The way that I do mine is you can home it. Once you get it homed, then you can set a location for it to return to after it gets through burning. And hang on, let me get a machine powered up here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And yes, guys, I got the Whiz Maker, which Brian loves that machine, by the way. I got it over there in the enclosure, so. But yeah, let me do multiples. How about that? Yeah, that works. That way you can see me, you can see what I'm doing. Well, that camera up top is going to be in the way. So let me take that camera up top down so that you can see this there. I can't remember the name. But when you go up to the top right here, you're going to go into edit, go to your device settings. You can enable like the return to finish position. And once you set that, anytime you do a burn, the machine is going to return to that position afterwards. So let me connect to the Whiz Maker here, and I will kind of show you how that works. So I'm going to put the I've got a jig in there. So let me just throw a piece of wood or I'll just put it on a burn. All right, so what you're going to do, first of all, home the machine. This machine is similar to what you're talking about, where it homes in the front. So when the machine homes, you'll see that it comes all the way to the front right there. All right, so if I put I'm just gonna put like a little circle right in the middle of the work area, give it a really low power setting. So if I go out, I've homed the machine now, and I'm gonna go out and frame that. So once it frames, then I hit start. Well, this is going to burn, and then it's going to go to that location. And no matter how many times I do that, it's going to burn, it's going to go back to that location. So that is kind of the workaround, but you have to set that. And just recapping, device settings, return to finish position. Don't set it to 0 and like 400. I recommend staying about 4 millimeters away from those limit switches. It tends to give you a little more consistency because you're not depending on the limit switches as much as you're depending on the step count. So that's how I run my machines. As you can see, that's the way it's set up. So back to the big video. Let me clear this little screen here out where I can see what y'all guys are talking about. If I miss comments, guys, while I'm screen sharing, I'm sorry. I'm by myself tonight. So let me, uh-oh. Maybe. Did I, what? No. Maybe, really? All right, guys. Time out. Time out on the laser questions. Some of y'all know my friend May. Y'all heard me talk about her a lot, but that's her, and apparently she's in the comment section. Snuck in while I was on Lightburn and couldn't see her. I guess I need to start throwing that screen up top where I can see a little better. But y'all give May a big thumbs up there. She actually she's a really good friend of mine, first of all, and she's probably one of the main reasons that I actually have a channel today. So she kind of inspired me because that's what she does. So if you haven't already, go give her a like, thumbs up, subscribe. I know she does paper crafting, but some of the stuff's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. So, and I know Miss Dottie. I don't know if Dottie's in here. Sharon. I know Sharon's familiar with May. So, yeah. Oh, Brian, if he's using XCS, yes, that's not going to work. Who was it that asked that question anyway? I got to go back up and find the name here. Wow. Galaviz 240. Yeah, if you're using XCS, take my advice, man. Go ahead and download the 30-day trial for Lightburn. And if you don't like it, you can always not purchase it, but learn it in those 30 days, and you'll be thankful that you did. Yeah, we did talk about you, May, but no, it was good. It wasn't anything bad. So it was just, we were talking about the stuff that you do for the Merchants Association and the stuff that you do for the other businesses in town as far as helping support businesses and that kind of thing. So it was all good. It was all good. Yeah, I need to get May to, that's what I should do. I should get her in here. I don't know if she has Restream. I could send you an invite. You could come in through Restream there, May. No, actually there's a lot of folks here that do watch, and I can't believe Miss Dottie missed it because she's usually in here. She'll see it in the replay and she'll be upset that she missed you. Yeah, Lightburn. Like I said, I don't get sales commissions or anything off of Lightburn. I just use it, and it is very, very flexible. It's very customizable, and I love it. So, somebody's, yeah. All right, guys, that ding ding that you just heard is Steve, and he's saying that he isn't going to make it. He told me he was going to try, and I didn't want to call it too early, so I didn't say for sure, but he just texted and said he's not gonna make it. So that's Steve, but he says, hey. See, Brian, look, May, there you go, right there. See, that's what I keep telling her. I did. She did tell me to stay in my lane the other day when I started cutting paper, guys. But she sells paper, so it actually would be good for business for her if you guys started ordering paper from her to make crafts with. Because I am still going to be trying to make a Christmas card with a laser for Christmas. Yeah, see, Sharon says she does the same thing. I know, Sharon, weren't you and Miss Dottie both, y'all watch May regularly, don't you? All right, there's Steve, guys. He's sticking his head in. Y'all tell him, tell him, hey, it's really hurting. Yeah, an SVG file is an SVG. See, I can rip through some SVGs, which I prefer Lightburn files, but SVGs do the work too. So let me see if I can keep this where I can see it. Ooh, wait a minute. I got my windows all messed up. There we go. Let's see if I can get that where I can see it. Yeah, Steve probably did only come to see May May. But yeah, guys, let me see. Where did Steve go? Man, these comments. See, I need Steve if nothing else because he reads faster than I do. I squirrel too much. But yeah, there's Steve, guys. That's his tip of the day. We all know that it's not gonna happen. But yeah, he probably saw May May was in here and wanted to come in because he actually said he wanted to meet May May when he was down, but it was on a Sunday, and it didn't work out. She wasn't available at the time. There's a good question. Y'all been seeing it? Yeah, he came to Alabama, May May, and we talked about coming to see you, but he didn't get into Alabama until like late on a Sunday, and the logistics just didn't work out. But he has mentioned there may be another trip in the future. Uh, North Alabama. I have a battery backup, same as you use for computers and stuff. Uninterrupted power supply, a UPS that is built into that monstrosity of a table that I built. And then from there, I use an inverter generator that is a 2,000 watt inverted generator, and it powers everything that I have on there. If I can, I try to use like shore power, so to speak. But like this past weekend, the little plug, I found a plug hiding in the bushes, but it didn't work, so I had to use my generator. But luckily, I can put that thing like 20 feet from my booth, and it's not really that loud. I mean, the music was louder than the generator was, so that worked out really well. None of my neighbors complained. But yeah, Steve, next time you come, we'll try to let May May know ahead of time. If nothing else, even if her shop's not open, we'll try to get something going. There's the generator if you're interested. You want to look at it, but it's a win. It's the same as my air filter system and my sawdust extraction system. I did a lot of homework, a lot of research, and for the price and for how quiet it is, it runs great. I even use ethanol gas in it, but the way that the off and on is it turns the gas off when you're not using it, and I've never had a problem with it cranking past the first pull. Oh, what's Brian done said? No, Brian. All right, you made me do it, Brian. There you are. I'm gonna put the gong on here. That way I can get Brian with the gong. Yeah, May, you probably didn't even know I had the generator because you did stand like literally you stood right beside it when you were talking to me the other day. So yeah, it's a good little generator. Considering the price point of say the Hondas and some of the other ones, I took a gamble when I bought it. Like when I first started doing this, when I first built the portable clack shack, I bought it, and I was like, if it'll just get me, a year through it, it'll be, I'll save up and buy one of the more expensive ones. But guys, I'm not looking back. I love that little thing. It has USB ports on the front of it, so you can charge anything USB. It has a 12 volt on the front of it, and it runs my X-Tool D1, the string lights up top. It runs the lights inside the enclosure. Charges my drone and all my other stuff, as well as air assist and smoke eater on the table. So it powers all of that, and it usually doesn't go above an idle to power all that because I have that battery backup, that uninterrupted power supply, and so that kind of spreads the load out on the generator, so it's not sitting there just constantly revving up and down. Basically, all the generator is doing is charging that UPS. So I don't know, May May. I have thought about. I've got some ideas. I want to do one of those cool cards that like you open it and the tree pops up, or like a dog pops up or something like that. I want to try to design that file and make a card that way. So I actually was going to try to come see you and see what kind of card stock would be suitable, because I know y'all have like multi-layered card stock and all that so I just wanted to kind of pick your brain and figure out what kind to use. But I've got, I do got those little hat boxes done. If I can get out of the way, those little hat boxes, I got those things stain today. But I've been doing a lot of catch up today. I was finishing those stove covers, and then I had to, my little guineas that were once little tiny guineas got really big, and so I had to put them in a different uh, pen. So I moved them up the chicken heel up there. Yeah, I figure you got plenty of card stock. Now, see, Brandy's in here trying to instigate now. She's trying to get May May on me. but but yeah, guys, if you are into crafting with paper, or you want to experiment with crafting with paper, I know she's got paper, she's got stamps. She actually does have some pretty good glues. The acrylic paints that I use to paint my little small things that I paint. She sells all that stuff. She's got an online shop that's pretty awesome. So if you ever need any of those kind of supplies, May May would definitely be a good one to support with your business there, for sure. So what we got going on here? Cut big bass 300 to 500 millimeters a minute with an HRP. You're gonna make me do math. 300 millimeters, 60. It sounds about right. So that's about what, 5 on the low end, 5 millimeters a second. Ain't that right? Y'all know I don't do math. Yeah, big box. I don't use big box per se. I use the Luan, quarter-inch Luan, and it works really well. But you know, a lot of people prefer the choice plywoods, but for the expense and for what I do, I have found just to, you know, I use the stuff. If I have a bad piece, that's lost. I throw it away and I do it again. But anything that I really, really want to do right, I make my own lumber for it. Oh, Sharon's done spotted you, Brandy. She says, hey there. There you go, May May. Well, hang on. Let me, I got to find her website. I don't want to just throw it in there. I want to make sure I got the link right. Here we go. This is May May's shop, her online shop there, Bullets, if you want to use that. But she can definitely, her and the ladies that work with her can definitely tell you what you need to be able to make them. And she has those, they do those really cool. It's kind of like almost as cool as the Clack Shack interchangeable jig. But they have those little books that basically you just close the book on the paper and it makes a card. It's like magic. So, but yeah, that's our website right there. Bullets. I'm just gonna call you Bullets from now on because I always trip up on that name. Yeah, Mark. Sometimes plywood, especially the stuff from big box stores. Yeah, see. Appreciate you, Brian. I was gonna pull a calculator up. My phone's laying here. I could have used it, but I did the low end in my head. But yeah, 5 millimeters a second for quarter-inch material. Most of my machines I can get by with 6, but with some plywoods, to be on the safe side, it's better to come by to go slower than it is to go faster. Because you can shave a millimeter or two of speed off of the project and make sure it cuts out clean. That's better than running it and then having to rerun it again because something didn't drop out. So, in my opinion, 5 millimeters a second, that's not terrible for quarter-inch material. Yeah, Brian, if it's 52 degrees, I'm surprised you're not out there decorating your tree. The bad thing about it is, Brian, some Christmases here, it's warmer than 52 degrees on Christmas Day. I don't know, May May. Nobody's asked me to do Christmas in July. Go figure. Beaver Creek, in the portable Clack Shack, I've actually got the X-Tool Air Assist that I bought when I bought my X-Tool D1. Everything on the portable Clack Shack right now is still the X-Tool because that's what I built that enclosure for. And it's not big enough for a lot of the other machines. And I leave the X-Tool D1 and the X-Tool D1 Pro, those live in the trailer. I've got places that I hang up the D110 watt as a backup. The other one just stays in the enclosure. It's in the trailer right now. After we do an event, I'll go out there one day, bring it in the shop, clean it, lubricate it, get it back ready to go, and I'll put it back in there. And that way, every time I go to an event, the machine is ready to go, and I don't have to like cram to do it right before the event starts. But maybe, yeah, I guess, yeah, well, cool. We can do a Christmas video. But yeah, I'd love to participate. You know that. Anything May, guys, I'm going to participate if I can. I'm going to help her out whatever I can. So, but if you ever do, yeah, Brandy's trying to get some free Christmas stuff early. But if you ever do find yourself coming through Chilton County, whether you're traveling or whatever the case may be, though, May she actually has a storefront in town, and she's there every day. I have a 9 to 5 job right now, or 8 to 4 job right now. Yeah. There you go, right there. See, guys, that's how it starts. When I first got my laser, it was probably 6 months before I could actually make any money with it because she had me working. But now, the one thing I will say, though, is when the Clack Shack very first started, it kind of started because I would make something for Brandy, and I would put it on my Facebook page, and people would be like, hey, I want that. How much is it? And so I'd be like, oh, I made that for Brandy. I couldn't dare let you have that. I made that for my beautiful wife. Then she would come in and comment $25 and sell it. And then she'd be like, make me another one. So that's actually how the Clack Shack started. May, she's got a folder on her iPad of pictures that she screenshots and saves so that when if I ever go in the house and go, yep, all caught up, she's like, well, let me show you these. So, yeah. May does it. I love bank deposits. Yeah. Well, she's earned. Yeah, see, she's not denying it. She does that, guys. And if your wife doesn't do that, and she hears about this and she starts doing it, I'm sorry. I apologize. But that's the way mine does it. She knows how to screenshot stuff. And sometimes I'll be sitting in the shop out here working, and I'll just get a text message. It'll be just some random thing off of Pinterest or Etsy or somewhere that she has run across. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm trying to keep up with these comments. Brandy, if y'all see a comment or something, let me know. But yeah, she sold several of the little things that I made for her. I even had somebody want to buy her table, but she won't sell the table now. Yeah, that's about the truth of it, Brian. You got to keep them happy, no doubt. Yeah, you better go fix Vince something to eat there, May. He gonna get hangry at you. Well, thanks for stopping by, and guys, if you hadn't, just go give her a thumbs up, something on her YouTube channel, Facebook, both. You know, that would I'd appreciate that because she has done the same for me numerous times. She's helped me out, like I said, when I was struggling trying to get things kicked off. She helped me out. So, but yeah, any of your project needs for paper crafting, by all means, she's the lady that has it all when it comes to paper crafting. And if she doesn't have it, and she finds out she doesn't have it, I'm sure she'll get it if Vinny doesn't, if Vinny doesn't stop her. Well, that was a nice visit. Will the wife like it? So, yeah. Yeah, that definitely, wait a minute, let me just blow that up a little bigger. I can see the comments. Well, I can't scroll them. I really need like a really big screen for the comments, guys. So is anybody working on anything really cool? So if we get us, well, let's don't poke too much fun at Steve, Brian. he he was really wanting to try to make it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been married a long time, and I told him that in this particular situation, my advice, and I know Brandy's gonna be like, wow, but my advice was not to sweat it and to just skip it and enjoy time with his family. So there's that. But he'll be back, I'm sure. He'll have things saved up. I've actually gotten 2 monitors already. I've actually got 3. I got that one. But I've got 2. I've got this one down here, and then when y'all ask the question that I need to go get something off the internet, I've got the one up top that does that, and it runs my streaming software. Yeah, I do got 3. I got another TV over there over the door too. But that TV over the door actually picks up the antenna because that was installed before I had internet in here and could stream. The TV here, that's actually a smart TV. That's the one I watch Steve's videos on when I'm in here doing other projects. Because I like to keep up with what Steve's doing, make sure he's not trashing me in a video or something. Yeah, Ron, that's what I said. And like I said, I have a trip coming up in the next few months. Depending on the schedule, depending on what's going on, I may try to pop in. I've got an iPad that would probably work, that has internet on it and everything. But when it comes down to it, if it doesn't work out, it's just not going to work out. And I'll catch up when I get back. I missed something. Okay, hang on. Woo! Now that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't built many hinges. I have heavily learned how to use something off of boxes.py and edit it and let them do the really complicated stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I make starts out life as a box, and then I just cut holes and things in it and adjust it to make it to where it will work for whatever the function is that I have. Oh yeah, Ron. Yeah, YouTube. Like I said, I enjoy it. Oh, is the Whizmaker noisy? How's that? It's right here beside the microphone. But yeah, I had to turn it on to where I could see the controller settings or everything a while ago and demonstrate that little maneuver. Is that better? Did I get rid of all my noise? My new mic actually works really well. I almost want to get one of those little boom things, but I don't really want to look like I'm a AM radio guy. Steve and his beard are missed. Cool. Like I said, I sure hope so, guys, because I actually spent more than I probably should have, more than I wanted to anyway, on this microphone. But y'all know I get like a burr in my saddle if something doesn't work right. So, well, hello, Middle Georgia. Yep, everything going good here tonight. You missed May May. Steve is not with us tonight. No, actually, Brian, AM radio, we still have an AM radio station here in Clanton. So, there you go. We still have it. Let me see here. Now, they also have streaming services and stuff too. But here, yeah. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and I'll give you a window into this area right there. There you go. That is our local radio station, and I'm pretty sure they're still broadcasting on AM. Was it AM 610 maybe? The word redneck, depending on which context you use it, that's not a derogatory term. If your car is broken down on the side of the road, there are very few people that I've ever seen stranded on the side of the road, needing a tire changed or whatnot, that were offended when they saw somebody that they would qualify as a redneck. You actually have to have a lot of different skills, in my opinion, to qualify to be called that. Now, there are some that are a little extreme. I'll give you that. But no, that doesn't offend me at all. Doesn't bother me. My neck it probably is red. I've been outside. Look at it. Look at that. I've been outside doing work today. There you go, guys. There it is, right there. Well, Chris, I'm good with it. AM radios, one thing I will say, if we have a really severe solar flare and it takes out a lot of the modern electronics, there's a chance that that old tube type AM radio station might still be playing. But yeah, it's cool. I actually like living in a small town, and I like having, we have the technology, we have things that other places have, but we still have a little bit of the nostalgia and the things that just, in my opinion, just make things awesome. Uh, the Let me see if I can put this in here. The events that we have, like downtown, stuff like that, I like that stuff. Maybe I'm old fashioned, or whatever the case may be, but I really enjoy it. It's kind of nice. Matter of fact, I'm gonna swap this over here, and I'm gonna show you this little video clip here. This is the event that I did the other night, and this is all the vendors. The Clack Shack is right about there, right at the end of the street, right before you get to that big peach in the road. I'm on the right there. Blue tent with all the lights over top of the shack. But it's a small town feel. Yep, we're going like right over the top of the shack right now. So I enjoy it. I like it that way. I do not like large cities. I get, I get a little irritated with crowds. So I know that sounds strange because I'm on here, talking to people that I don't even know, but I just don't like big crowds. I kind of like it the way it is, and I do enjoy events and stuff like that. And small town living is that's kind of my thing, I guess. Yeah, Brian, that is true. And AM actually, it's been around for a minute. Yeah, the humidity gets a little rough at times. So far this year, it hasn't been terrible, but there are times where the humidity gets to be a bit of a handle. Yeah, Brian, I met a lot of new people, and I actually had a couple of people from YouTube and Facebook that drove down from the county north of us to come check the booth out. And that was pretty cool. I didn't catch their names because I was so busy, but they did tell me that they follow me on Facebook and that they had saw the post and knew I was going to be there and all that. So that was neat. I've had one of the guys that is in here a lot, Bill. He drove down from Tennessee last year to one of the fall events and hung out with me. Like he hung out at the booth pretty much the whole event. Even helped me answer some questions and stuff when I got backed up because he knew. From watching the videos and from having his own laser, he knew some of the questions that were being asked, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, barbecue, it's barbecue bullets, big rigs. It's different. I like it. We don't have a whole lot of crime. You don't have to worry about people messing with you. Even the civilians. I mean, if they see somebody doing something to somebody that don't need to be doing, they'll help you. They'll act. They're not just going to turn the cheek the other way and keep walking. They're actually going to pitch in and help. I have had situations at work to where I was kind of had my hands full with somebody that was larger, stronger, or just crazier than I was, and have actually had civilians stop, get out of the car, and come help. So that's something you don't get in a lot of places. So I'll take that over the big city any day. Now, Brian, I don't know about a big celebrity. A lot of people here in town, it's getting to where more people know about it now. But a lot of people here in town, up until recently, didn't even know I had a channel or that I did anything. And it's not that big. I mean, May May, she lives here in this community. She's large, like almost 400,000 subscribers. Uh, so she's a large YouTube channel with 400,000. Then you got Cog Hill, which is another one that's here in my area, and they have, I think they're 200, maybe 200,000, maybe plus or minus. But those guys, to me, those are YouTube celebrities. I'm just a guy with a hobby that does YouTube. Now, maybe one day it'll get more popular. Now, I will be, and I don't know if they've got it out yet or not. I will say this, though, if anybody happens to know about it. There's going to be, in September, there's going to be an event up at Pedals from the Past, which is in our county, and there's going to be like Cog Hill and a bunch of the other farming channels are going to be there. And I don't consider myself to be a farming channel, even though I do a lot of the same things they do. I don't usually do a lot of it on YouTube. I do a little, but not a lot. Hang on a minute. Got a question here. Let me get to that. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I have found, because let's face it, guys, the other day at this last event, just to my left, if you went out the front of my booth and went to the left, some friends of mine, they are sisters in, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, they're two ladies that have a small business that work together, and I can't remember the name of it. I just call them sisters. But they have a glow forge, and so they do a lot of the big stuff. They do a lot of stuff where you have to paint it and stuff like that. The thing that I have found is small items that Sisters by Choice. Thank you, Brian. But they're a local laser engraving company, and they two awesome ladies. Both of them have kids, and they take care of their kids. I think one of them, I know for a fact, one of them homeschools. I'm pretty sure both of them may. But they have a laser engraving business, and they do a lot of the same things that we do, but they do it with a glow forge, so it's a little different. And I'll drop you, and you can go tell these ladies at the Clack Shack told you to stop in and check them out. But they do a lot of really cool, like, intricate things. They paint. It's some pretty cool stuff. They have a Glowforge Pro that they use, and it's just one machine. And me and her were discussing this past week that, because she was saying how long it takes to turn out products and how her price point has to. That's Sisters by Choice. They're actually not sisters. That's the name Sisters by Choice. They choose to be sisters, but the small things that I do, and because she kept telling me, she's like, next time we do an event, I need you to move your booth way down there, because everybody stops there and then they're just like, oh, she's got the same stuff. But the majority of the money that I make off of the keychains, the ink pens. Now, the bottle openers were a hit at this last event. I actually made, I think, 8 or 10 of those things, and I only come back with like 4. The bottle openers, that was a good sale on my part, ordering those. The variety pack of keychains, I sold several of those. The younger kids, the little boys, let's say 13 and under, they love the dog tags, like the engraved dog tags. I had a young man the other day he wanted like the little Punisher emblem on it with his name under there, and he said he had looked everywhere to try to find one and couldn't. So I did that one for him. I also do. I've got some blue and some red dog tags that I do, and I have a little design that I have built. So for basically like a medic alert type thing. Those at some of the events, the older people like those that have diabetic problems or something like that. And believe it or not, that wasn't my idea to make those. I had a lady come to my booth. She saw the dog tags, and she asked me. She said, "Sir, could you put this on one of those tags?" And so I was like, "Sure." And so I made one for her as kind of a medical alert type thing because there was a couple of things that she wanted on it to make sure that if she did have a medical issue, they could find it. And so that's where that idea came from. And I've actually made a lot of those. Uh, and then, of course, I do the pet tags where you can put your dog's name on the little bone. I do all that kind of stuff there. But I try to keep anything that I do at an event down to like a 2 or 3 minute burn. Hello, Crubby Beagle. Crubby the Beagle. How's it going? Yeah, now Christmas time ornaments are king. I will say that. Ornaments, reef inserts, because May May's crowd and mine kind of cross over. The little inserts for reefs, those are really, really popular, especially around like different seasons. So if we're like right now, I would say if you were trying to gear up for the next wave, of course, once you get past 4th of July, then the next thing I would say would probably be like some fall decorations, like Hello Fall and that kind of thing for the reefs, like the door reefs. And when you make those, what I do is I put a couple of little holes in there so they can use the wire to wire it into the reef and keep that thing centered. And that way too, if the wind blows, it doesn't move. But those things were pretty popular. I've actually had a few orders for those where I've had to do 6 or 8 of them for a customer. Yeah, I do have a project coming. I had somebody reach out to me about Apple Watch bands, silicone Apple Watch bands. Had a lady said she ordered some, but she wanted some writing put on them, and she's going to send them to me. And I told her that would be fine as long as I had at least one that I could use to do some testing with. And she says she has one that either got broke or whatever that is the same type that she's going to let me have with them so I can do some testing on it. That's a request for cruise boards. Yeah, I saw that. Now I will say this too: a lot of these events, the camper stuff, like my little keychains and refrigerator magnets, state-shaped refrigerator magnets are pretty popular in the camping community. The little display that I have at Peach Park where I sell keychains and refrigerator magnets, the Happy Camper shaped like Alabama, those little refrigerator magnets fly. They do really well, and I don't charge a whole lot for those things, but I sell a lot of them. I sell them to Peach Park, and then Peach Park puts their price tag on it, and they sell them. So as long as they give me what they're giving me, I'm good from there. Well, hello, Pascal. Agree on beard comps. Yeah, I haven't tried any of those. I might have to look into that. I try to go for stuff that's affordable and quick. Like I said, the $5 and $10 items, the whiskey flasks, those are pretty popular, depending on the crowd. Different designs, different things on them. Those are pretty popular. I bought a box of those and I've sold several. I've still got enough left for now, but yeah. Michael, I'm gonna order some. I actually went online and was looking at them today. But yeah, the Apple Watch bands because this doesn't really look like an Apple Watch, but it is because I'll break it if I don't use the little armorized band. And then Brandy has one, and so we could use the bands even if I buy a pack of 5. If I can just get 1 or 2 good ones out of it. That's something I could use. So I had looked at ordering some of them. I was going to try to figure out what color that would look best and whether or not I need to engrave it and then maybe buy some silicone or some kind of paint to go in to kind of do an inlay, or if it's gonna show up good enough just engraved. If you're near the national parks, I know the travelers, like I said, campers and people like that would be a good thing with the camp national park stuff. That would be cool. The hammer handle engraving. Oh yeah. That's another one. Brandy reminded me. We had just talked about this the other night at the event. I actually had a lady come up to me and ask me if I could engrave a hammer, to which my response was, which part of the hammer? Because I'm not like some of you guys got those nice fiber lasers sitting around. But the Father's Day idea that she was wanting like a phrase or something put on the handle of a hammer, but she wanted a new hammer that she could like put in a shadow box or whatever, maybe. And so that I think that's a good idea, and I need to get a couple of those and do those to see. Does Pascal have any issues? I missed it. Well, throw them in there, Pascal. If I can't answer it, there's probably somebody in here that can. Or if I need to, we can jump in Lightburn and see if we can tell you how to handle it. Now, Brian, I got this rugged one that hopefully will keep me from breaking the watch. I can't go without having something to kind of protect it. I hit my thumb with a rubber hammer today. It could have just as easily been my watch. Husband corrector. All right, so let's see what we got here, Pascal. It didn't go as far as me. Only like a quarter. All right, check your work. First thing that I would check would be, of course, if they're all one layer, then the power setting should be consistent across the whole design. But it sounds like it could possibly be that your work surface is not level. And if your work surface is not level, with diodes especially, and when that material, if one side's higher than the other, you're going to have a different focus on one side than what you have on the other. And it could be that on one side it had good focus, and on the other side it didn't. Another common cause of that is if your material is warped. If the plywood is warped a little bit, then it can cause that. You may actually be getting a better penetration on the side that's warped, with the focus being higher. So I would check those two things and see. Yeah, Pascal, if you join the Laser Engraver community group, there's myself, Steve, and a whole bunch of other guys in there that would be willing to help you. If you just go to Facebook and look for that group, if you have a Facebook page, and we can let you know on there. Well, Chris, I don't think if he's saying it didn't cut all the way through on one side, I'm leaning more towards either warpage of the material or the bed not being flat. But I guess if the belt's slipping, maybe it was going slower on the slipping side. I don't know. If it was just one pass, it should have cut through regardless of whether it was cutting correctly or not. But you can go in there and post your pictures, and I'll give you some input, or you can go check me out on Facebook and message me the pictures on Facebook, and I try to respond to that stuff when I can. Of course, it'll be after the live at least. Was it after a pause? Did I see that? What machine is it, Pascal? Just out of curiosity. Supposed to cut around and suddenly cut through it. Supposed to cut around. What software? You running Lightburn? Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, now if it's not cutting the shape properly and it's going through it, then yeah, that definitely could be a belt issue, like Chris said. So I guess I didn't read the comments. Chris is doing a better job reading the comments than I am. I'm trying to keep up, guys. Now, I will tell you, too, I have seen on some machines, the X-Tool had a little stint for a while there to where it would just throw random lines into a file. If you're importing SVGs, that happens sometimes. I've had people that have tried to use my files as an SVG with an X-Tool, and yeah, there's a And just send a picture to my Facebook page, Pascal. And yeah, Chris, you don't need to brag about that, bro. Anybody can do better math than I can. I'm terrible at math. I got spoiled with calculators. I used to have a really good calculator. Now I just use my phone. Now Brandy can she can do like serious math in her head. I can't. But yeah, it could be a belt issue. It could be a software issue. Uh, there's a circle and square test that I do, Pascal, that would be helpful to try to help diagnose it. Let me see if I can. I'll show you. I'll send you a video that if you watch that video, it may help you figure out what the problem is. And if it does, be sure to leave me some feedback down there. But there's a video you may want to watch, Pascal. It shows you a couple of little tests that I use to confirm that my belts aren't slipping. And if you make those shapes and run that little test, if the belts are serious, if the belts are slipping, it will show you that it's slipping. What's up, Klein? Everybody's mad at you. You didn't show up. Try getting him to come, guys, and he said he couldn't make it. So there he is. But his internet is not good enough for him to do it that way. So he would have to physically come here. Yeah, Klein, you missed Maymay. She dropped in and stayed with us for a little while there. And you missed Steve too, because Steve came wandering through for a minute. If I'd have known Steve was in here, I could have made some had some fun with that. All right, I don't see the picture yet. He said he's going to send that picture. I'm trying to check see if that picture comes through. Not seeing it. Oh, Brian, he's got his own chair over here. He comes all the time. He just didn't make it tonight. He was fussing when I bought myself a new stool and didn't get him one. Yeah, Anthony, anybody that can do algebra in their head, they definitely are gifted, because I can't. Mechanical reasoning stuff I'm good with, but math's not my thing. I'm back, spent 10 hours trying to... Uh-oh, what are we having trouble with? Let me see this. Universal test card. Uh-oh. Tig, you're not going to like what I got to tell you, bro. Or ma'am, whichever. All right, guys. Let's go over to Lightburn. Let's show Tig. Tig, if you spent that long creating a test file, you're definitely going to want to pay attention. This, sir, is the way to do a test file, in my opinion. Now, there's other people that'll tell you can do other ones, but there it is right there, guys. I've got a test made for almost any scenario, and if I want to do a 50-50 and up, I can go in and there's a 50-50 and up. That starts out at 50% at 50 speed and goes up to 300. If I have a machine that I'm just absolutely no idea where to start at, that's what I do. If I'm testing canvas, I use that one. That is a canvas test that has a lot of little boxes to try to find the perfect setting, especially if you're trying to do color reveals on multi-layered canvas. I also have one for clothing, believe it or not, because I have engraved blue jeans before. And so you can go in here and create these things relatively easy. I have a video on it, and so does Steve. I've got a 30-watt cut test right there. I can just go in and preview it. That's a 30-watt cut test. So you can create any kind of test that you want to create in that software in just a few minutes. You can save it, and then next time you need to do it, You just go in there, load it, and run it again. So I hope that helps. Tig. Tig? Was it Tig or Tug? I think it was Tig. Tig, yes. So I hope that helps, Tig, but that's what I would recommend. Just use the power test. The cuts and layers, make sure that the top one is the one that's going to go first, and then as they go down, they're going to go from there to there. But yeah, building a test file is way more trouble than it's worth outside of that tool. Drawing on my granddaughter drew. What now? What we got? Cut a drawing my granddaughter drew on Lightburn and it came out bigger than Y. You mean it came out bigger than your Y-axis? Is that... Not following. Follow up on that. We'll try to figure that out. Bigger than the picture? Well, you know you can resize stuff in Lightburn, right? Once you get it in there, you can resize it. Oh, well, here we go. Here we are. Well, I will. My goodness, I got a little spider has built a little web right across my area here. I will tell you this: Atom Stack and Acer in this shop right now, as far as rotaries go, the Atom Stack and the Acer are my go-tos. And the reason I say Atom Stack and Acer is, other than the color, I can't find a difference in the two. So, you know, O'Toole has a good one. I don't have it, so I'm not knocking anybody else's stuff. But I will tell you that I don't think you can go wrong with Atom Stack or Acer. I know Steve, I think, has the O'Toole version as well, and he likes it. But it's I always just go get the Atom Stack or either the Acer, because like I said, both of them are identical. Typically, when I use them, if you hadn't seen my video, I've got the rotary set up permanently in Enclosure Zilla here, and it's in there. I got the switch set up so that I can instantly switch from flat engraving to rotary stuff, and I love it. But now my Atom Stack rotary is up there if I were to do something in one of the other enclosures. Yeah, I think they do too, Chris. I think they just got a different color paint depending on which one they're making, because that's the only difference I can find in the two. Yeah, Brian, I got wolf spiders everywhere in here, and them little cob spiders. I try to spray for them, but the spray's not working. I think they just drink that stuff. What up, Jack? Yeah, I don't know how many people are putting in to join. It says we got 11 new members in the engraving community page, so that's pretty cool. But if you hadn't already, guys, we're going to go ahead and do the shameless plugs right here. If you haven't already, go check out my page or my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, Steve's Facebook page or YouTube channel, and hit those subscribe buttons. Help us keep things going. I actually have a couple more machines that I'll be reviewing pretty soon. I've kind of tried to cut back on that because it just got a little too much. But yeah, but I had a couple companies reach out to me with some really interesting machines that have, they've got the automatic air assist, they've got the Z-axis, and so it's hard for me to turn down equipment that sounds promising. So I will be doing a couple of those, and in the future. So we'll see. But Joseph, like I said, I don't think you can go wrong with the Acer if that's at the top of your list. Pascal, that would be. Hang on, I'll go in here and get you an actual link to it. It's Laser Engraving Community is what we named it, and I know that's kind of a weird name, but I didn't really want it to be like anything to do with necessarily me or Steve or, you know, whatever. I wanted it to be its own group. So here we go. Here's a link to it. That's the community page right there. Tell them your fans would gladly test. Well, yeah, and it's hard. It's hard as it is sometimes to turn them down. I have actually turned down a few of these other. There's been some other companies that have reached out. That, I mean, it's, you know, I know a lot of you guys get tired of seeing just different machine, and I like doing the creative stuff better. And I'm thinking that one day I'm trying to figure out how I can actually have it to where I can take some of those machines and pass them on to other people, and maybe have like a lottery of sorts without getting in trouble with the FCC or YouTube or Facebook or anybody. Brian Klein's got he's got several of my machines up there using them. He treats the Clack Shack like it's a pawn shop. Like, he'll bring one machine and swap it in on another one. So he any machine that he'd be reviewing right now is already been done here. Yeah, I actually do have one. If you're asking, I try not to push those affiliate links, guys, but it does help. It does help for me to keep things going. Let me see if I got one for the. I've got a video I did on the rotary that should have one in there, but give just a second and I'll see if I've got one in my account here. Adam Stack. There we go. This is the Adam Stack. Like, that's just the default link right there. That should take you to Adam Stack's site. I thought I had one for the rotary already prepped, but I do have a video that is on the rotary. So you can go to the video that I did on the Adam Stack rotary, and if you're interested, if you're still doing your homework, you can go watch that video and kind of see the looks and see how the setup and all that goes. So let me find that right quick, and I'll send you that link as well. I hit the search button. There we go. Yeah, here's the this is the video I did on the Adam Stack rotary. It'll also kind of show you how simple the setup is, because it's pretty simple. Yeah, I know LA Hobby Guy did it, and like I said, I've got right now, I've got, you know, like I said, with Klein, a couple of my friends that I let use some of the machines, but I've got an agreement with the local STEM program, and it's like a trade school where kids learn how to work different machines. They have a CO2 laser, and I've talked with the teacher about providing them, you know, some of the extra glasses and the enclosures and some of the machines and stuff like that for them to use at that school, to help teach these kids that are in the class and allow them to, instead of having one machine that everybody has to share, they could actually learn how to work lasers on multiple machines. So that's where my first clearinghouse is going, is to that school. I've already talked to them about that. I do like my Acer. The P20, love it. The L2, jury's still out on that one. I like it, but I don't know what the issue is with it right now, and I'm waiting to hear back from Acer on what I need to do next. But I also like this little Whizmaker, guys. I'm going to tell you, this Whizmaker, if you ask me, it's kind of like the Adam Stack and Acer rotaries. This Whizmaker is basically a P20 Acer. I mean, it's like, that's what it is. Yeah, well, Brian, that the guy I'm friends with, the guy that's the instructor out there, and so he thought that was a good idea, and I figured it would be good for some of them, but then eventually they're not going to be able to keep taking them. Yeah, Klein's trying to talk me into letting him have the whiz maker, and Klein actually is a teacher in the school system as well, so uh, he knows firsthand how hard it is on these teachers to try to get equipment for the classroom to teach these kids with. And I just think that's a worthy cause, in my opinion, to help them out. And but once I've got them equipped, then I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. Yes, Sharon, I would love to get my hands on that. Steve actually has the new L230-ish module machine. I think it just came in right before he left to go on his trip or whatever, so that'll probably be a little while before that video's out. But Steve got the 30-something watt. I got the 20-something. We were supposed to both get the 20-something, and his didn't get put on the truck and didn't get shipped out. And so to make up for it, they gave him the 30-ish watt machine. Pascal, did you apply? Well, we'll let you in there. There's only a few of us, Pascal, that are. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Steve. I told him you had a new machine you're going to show to him when you got back. And I told him how you got lucky and got the better machine than I did on the on the new Aitzer. Let me go into the group here. There's only a couple of us, Pascal, that can allow people to get in, and we do that because we try to make sure we don't get any bots in there. So let me go in and see member request. I'm not showing any member requests, Pascal, for some reason. I don't know. It's laser engraving community. Wait a minute. I may have sent you to. You may not have got a good link. Hang on. Here's the link again. Try this one, Pascal. Maybe something went hinky with my. Maybe something went hinky with my link. That link right there should take you straight to it. But I just pulled the page up and it's not showing any requests active right now. So, and I think Jack, aren't you able to approve those as well? So, all right. Yeah, Brian's got a nickname for the Whiz Maker. But yeah, guys, Steve's going to be showing you the L2, the 30. Is it 33 or 34? I think it's 33 watt. So he's got that, or maybe it's 36. I can't remember, but he's got that one. He's going to be testing out and showing you guys soon. So stay tuned to his channel for that. And if you hadn't already, I'll save him the trouble because I know he's probably on a mobile device, if I was guessing. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in here one more time in case anybody missed it. I'm gonna put a link to Steve's channel, and like I said, me and Steve both have Facebook and YouTube. So if you do both, if you're one of those folks that has both medias, you can go ahead and give us a like, thumbs up, follow on both. That way, if there's a problem with YouTube or if there's a problem with Facebook, you can do either one or the other. Do I? Well, actually, we're just gonna call you Seb. Got a new computer when I get home. The laser grounds like. Yes, Seb. That sounds to me like you have missed the configuration part of the X tool. That's not really that big of a deal, but you don't need to keep hitting that button. There's a file that you're going to have to go to Xtool's website and grab, and it will correct that issue for you. Here is this is the video that I made. Sheena. Oh. Which is it a Sheena that I know? It just says SEBNOPRO 7 Pro on my end. Know how those YouTube names are. But I don't know if. Yeah, I think you can because I'm joined as the Clack Shack and on my personal account, Josh. So I think you would be able to. But there's the video for the assembly of the 20 watt right there that I just posted, Sheena. So if when you get into that, make sure that you do each step as far as the software side of it goes, because it sounds like, well, do me a favor, Sheena, and just run through that one more time as far as the software setup end of it, because sometimes it doesn't take. I have had people tell me that they did it, and then when they went back and redid it, it actually worked. So follow that video, pause if needed, and just make sure you're doing all of the steps, because it sounds like what it is you haven't downloaded the little configuration file that you have to go to Xtool's website and download. If it was working on another machine and you bought a new laptop and now it doesn't work with that laptop, it's obviously going to be something to do with the laptop, which is going to be more than likely that particular setting from my experience. So I would highly recommend you run through that process again, take it one step at a time, pause the video if you need to, and just make sure that that step did get done and didn't have an error or get overlooked. Yeah, guys, one thing about the laser engraving community page is we don't. If you are a maker and you make things and you want to occasionally mention that in there, that is cool. But just understand that if you expect people in the group to help you and assist you, by buying from you or whatever, then you also need to contribute and answer questions or participate in conversation and stuff like that. We're not going to have folks in there, because when somebody posts something like that, I can see whether you have replied to comments, answered questions, or whatever. And if all you're doing is dropping ads, then I'm going to give you a warning. And after 3 warnings, you're done. And I'm trying to do that for you guys, because I know how it is in some of the other groups where it's just ad after ad after ad, and then you got these spammers, and you got some of them are, I swear some of them I think are actually scams. So I try to keep that down, me and Steve and a couple of guys that help us out with the page. I can't remember who all we've got now, but the runner, yeah, Victor, I did a video on the Longer Array 5. It's a decent machine, but it does not have limit switches. And so you're going to have to operate that thing from current position. And you'll just have to place the laser where you want it and do it that way. That's the only drawback to the L5, the Longer Array 5 that I found. It works great. Does a good job. It's really, really good at doing like real fine engravings, but the only problem that I had with it was that it does not have limit switches, and so therefore you're gonna have to operate it as current position. You can use it with light burn, but it's gonna need to always be ran in current position. Well, hello, Greg. Welcome back. I recognize that name. I might be terrible with numbers, guys, but I can't actually remember names usually, if I can say them right. Yeah, the X-Tool, the cables can be a little tricky. Drag chains can help if you have enough slack, and also if you can kind of train those things to and kind of twist them to where they move outside the work area. That's really helpful with the X-Tool. That's going to be a question somebody else will have to answer. I've only used XCS to update software. That's it. I I use XCS to update software and turn off that uh, flame switch. That flame switch on the X tool, you have to turn it off in XCS. So that was the only other thing I've used it for. Was that. All right, let me go back to the page here. Not seeing the picture yet. I'm multitasking way too much. I do see Terry Ulrich, Andy Kai. Yeah, I'm multitasking way too much. Yeah, there's some folks out there, if you want to go the aftermarket route, that sell drag chains, cable extensions. I mean, you can really Frankenstein one of those X tools up. There's all kinds of mods and stuff that people come up with for them. I've never really used any of those because it just, like I said, I try to keep my machines to where I can do the jobs that I do, the jobs that pay me, and I don't really do a whole lot of tweaking. I guess the most tweaking I've done was to my Aitzer by adding the switch for the rotary. I thought that was a really neat creation, and so I did add that, and it works really well. But I don't know if anybody verify whether or not you can do coordinates in XCS. Barbecue's wanting to know. Pascal, I'll keep looking for those pictures, but I haven't seen them come through yet on my end. Unless you send them to my page, my Facebook page, which I can't. Like I said, I'm trying to multitask here, and it's getting a little hectic. Yeah, Chris, I've been looking at that Fox Alien CNC, but Steve and a couple other folks has got me wanting to just go ahead and step my game up because they're saying find the one you want and then like double it for your first one. So I'm been looking at them, but jury's still out on whether or not I'm going to wind up getting one or not. I'm not seeing, unless you send them to me on Messenger, I'm not seeing them yet. I'll try to look at the comments and look in the group after the live's over with because it's getting. Yes, Steve, I have that happen. Folks will come up and you know them, but you just don't know where you know them from. Promethean Woodworks. Okay, a few seconds ago, Promethean Woodworks. So whoever that is, we'll see. If that's somebody that's in here, maybe that'll help you out. But yeah, I'll check into the laser discussion group once this is done because y'all are multitasking my brain to death here. So, well, Pascal, I can't tell you that they aren't in there, but I'm not seeing it. I call myself looking. The last comment I see is 4 minutes ago. Terry Ulrich. Andy Key 7 minutes ago, and then before that, Beaver Creek put something out about some earring stuff 3 days ago. So that's what I'm seeing right now. Victor, what is Victor? Laser light. Yes. What software are you using first? Are you using Lightburn? That's kind of a loaded question. If you're not using Lightburn, then I might not be able to help you. But are you using Lightburn there, Victor? There's actually a button in Lightburn as well. And Jack is saying if you hit Shift and then Frame, yeah, in Lightburn, there is a way to, let me turn this message off. You can go into your machine, go into settings over here. When you get into device settings, you're going to want to make sure you enable this where it says enable laser fire button. Make sure that's turned on. You can also enable the laser on when framing right here. And once you do that, and if you come over here to the move tab, you're going to want to make sure you put either, I would say 50.50 or 0.75, and that will make the laser fire when you hit this button right here. So you can do that if you're trying to get it to a certain spot, or you can frame also. When you hit frame, it's going to activate the laser. Now, if you're running a X-Tool D1 or any type of machine that has the pointer offset, you're going to have to make sure you turn that off if you want to use the blue dot. What kind of machine are we talking about there, Victor? Is it an X-Tool or is it one of the other ones? Because if it is an X-Tool, there's going to be another setting that you're going to want to change, which is going to be your pointer offset. The longer? Yeah. Yeah, the longer, you should be able to do that with the longer and turn the laser on. In that video, I'm pretty sure when I set it up, that's what I did. And you'll fire the laser, and just you have to mark the center of your workpiece or the bottom left corner, however you want to work it. And you can build a frame, and once you learn how to do it, current position, and build a frame, you'll be able to run that out there and do it with no problems. Bob, the last time I updated my X-Tools was right after XCS came out. I went and updated my firmware because I was having an issue with the 10 watt started having some issues with like freezing up occasionally when I updated Lightburn. So I did go in and update the software on both machines then, but that was right after XCS came out. Pascal said they finally made it. Let me see if I can get in there to it. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's a random line. That yeah, that seems to be a little software glitchy. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think unless that was hiding in your graphics somewhere. Those lines typically are. I would probably uninstall and reinstall the machine, go through the setup process again, because I don't think that's going to be belt slippage. You do look like you may have a little bit of belt slippage in the image, but not enough to cause that. That's insane. That's got to be some type of either artifact in the burn, or maybe a software hiccup somewhere. So you may want to uninstall and reinstall and see if that fixes it. But yeah, that's way more than just a little belt slippage. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, that doesn't look like a loose cable. Not that severe. So there's a miscommunications going on between some computer components somewhere to cause that big of a variation. Because the image actually looked pretty decent. Yeah, those are either going to be artifacts in the design, and if that's not the case, then I'm going to say it's going to be a software configuration issue, maybe even a firmware. You might want to go try to get you some firmware updated. So, yeah, I mean, it could be a communication. Communication between the computer and the laser somewhere is going crazy. You might even want to try a different USB cable. There is. I don't think a USB cable would cause that. Typically, if you got a bad cable, it's just going to lose communications at all. So, Promethean is your garage business. Cool. Okay, Josh, that explains who that was then. But yeah, I tried to make sure I got all the requests approved over there. I know a couple of the other guys, Jeff, a couple of the other guys are helping me with that. But right now, I'm not showing any new ones, so everybody should be in that has applied. Hey, cat, quit scratching my door. Got a cat over here sharpening her claws on my door. Fluffy. Get it. I use the viewer extension. Those power tools. Huh. All right, guys. Questions, concerns, comments. Anything? Y'all, we're clocking on to about an hour and a half. Trying to go with the usual. As long as y'all don't leave me here by myself, we'll try to cut it off about 2 hours. So if you haven't already, guys, like, share, follow, and if you haven't liked this particular video, go hit that like. Yeah, Brian, trust me, they kill plenty of mice, and I don't mind her sharpening her nails on you see all the wood, right? Okay, there's wood everywhere the cat can use, and not on the painted door frame. I mean, seriously, there's wood everywhere, but she is over there on the painted door frame. Just stretched out, dragging those claws down through there. But yeah, they actually killed a rat, not a mouse, a rat that was in the shop. I don't know where it came from, but it looked like a possum. No port K40, should I go for it? You talking about? Are you saying Monport K40? Depends on your expectations. I'll say that. Well, I will tell you this. If you're going to be engraving acrylic and nothing but acrylic, then you might be better off with CO2, even the Monport K40. But I will tell you, if you're wanting to do wood and you're wanting to do engravings like what you had a minute ago, you're better off with a diode unless you want to do really small stuff. The Monport, I've got... Guys, I think I've got a video on most everything, do I not? But there's a lot. The Monport works, but I will tell you that it does not compete, and I would not trade if you told me, you give me 2 of the M40s for my 1 Acer P20, I would not take that deal. Not if that was all the machines I had. Now, if you're wanting something for cutting acrylic from time to time, 8x12 sheets of acrylic, it works great. But you're going to want to do some upgrades to it, regardless of what you do with the machine. But look at that video right there that I just dropped when you get a chance there, Pascal. That shows you all the upgrades I had to do to my K40, my Monport M40, K40, whichever they call it, to get it to where I'm comfortable cutting acrylic with it. And acrylic, around Christmas, the Monport will be putting into work because I cut acrylic a lot during Christmas. But right now, I haven't even turned it up. I haven't even turned it on since I built my newest enclosure. So it is it's different. Somebody talking about my mice and my you got a rat full. I got it all, Bob. I got those the little. I got spiders, the wolf spiders. And I usually can look around and find one. I've got the wolf spiders that the cats play with, but they won't kill. I've got lizards. I haven't found a snake yet, and mice occasionally, but they keep them killed. And then I had that one big rat that they killed, and I can verify the rat had gotten into the shack because I found a stash of acorns. So. Yeah, Jack. Now but you've got a lot bigger machine than the M40, and probably a little more complicated machine if you've got if I was guessing. The problem with the Mon port is not the laser itself. It didn't come with any of the extras as far as adjustable focus, movable bed. It didn't come with air assist already on it. It didn't come. So I had to do all those things myself, and you're looking at extra expense. So if as long as you're good with doing those upgrades and knowing that you're only going to be able to do basically a sheet of paper work size, then it's decent. It's good. It'll cut paper. It'll cut cardboard. It'll cut wood. It cuts clear acrylic. It cuts any color acrylic. But you're limited to that, sheet of paper size bed. Was it 12 by 8? 12, yeah, 12 by 8. It's 300 by 200. Make sure you got the percentage turned up in the move tab. Whoa, hang on. Right here, make sure you've got this turned up, and then you're going to hit the fire button to make it come on, and it should come on when you frame. But those two boxes are going to be under device settings. You got that one needs to be enabled, and then that one. Those two. So now you can watch that video and make sure that machine did do it, but I'm pretty sure it did. It did frame that way. Now, Chris, it's very. We have lots of animals around here. Now, the only marsupial pouched animal we have is a possum, but they don't really bounce on their back legs like the kangaroo do. Images, find, you're going to need to do a power speed test, and then find the setting that you like best for black, and then that's going to be your setting for images, because images, the way it works is black is going to be the highest power that you allow it to run. But Pascal, you can go over to my content, and you can search to your heart's content. There's lots of different little tests and little videos that I did on different things. I did a lot on engraving images on wood. I've got my little alien here, which I don't want to take him off because I got him stuck over there. But well, with images, Pascal, you're going to want to look into turning your LPI or your DPI up also. That's going to be crucial. Try doing your images in either Stuckey or Jarvis. I tend to have the best results with images with one of those two settings in the image tab. Grayscale, some machines do not like grayscale, and I have not been able to get really, really good images that way. Let's see what this question here is. Veneer and laser, I believe a vacuum table is needed. You can do inlays. I saw somebody did a video the other day about doing inlays with a laser. I can't remember which channel it was on. But the one thing that I will say is you're going to have to basically take your line and you're going to have to offset for the kerf. When you cut the hole out with the laser, then you've got to account for the kerf when you cut the piece to go in the hole to get that really snug fit. With the atom stack, when I do boxes and whatnot, I typically run 0.15 for my kerf to make my boxes like basically have to be pushed together with a rubber hammer. So you'll have to figure out what your kerf is, and you will have to account for that if you're planning on doing an inlay, unless you want that little line where the kerf would be. Black slate. I think Steve just did a video on slate, and I've got one too. So guys, I got a lot of videos. I'm just going to throw that out there. I spent a lot of my time on a camera. Here is my slate video that I done recently. Whoever that was looking for slate. Photos on slate, that's going to be challenging. Slate will work, but you have to play with your settings because slate is relatively easy to mark, but it's pretty much got one shade, and that's going to be that gray, light gray, almost white shade. Yeah, gravy. You could probably get by with making some kind of press, maybe, but it depends on how big of a piece of material you're talking. That might not be necessarily something you want to do. You could probably take a couple pieces of MDF or something and make a press, and then use some wood clamps to press that in there. But I haven't ever really fooled with a whole lot of that. Newspaper is a little pixelated if you're trying to do images. Uh, yeah, Bob, I agree. Depending on the medium, though, sometimes you're not going to get 318. Plywood and stuff like that. I think my DPI usually on plywood and stuff, I run at about 200. Because unless you're doing cedar or you're doing like metallic or a mirror or something like that that really takes that LPI, a lot of times you'll notice that at some point in the LPI, the quality of the image kind of plateaus out and it quits getting better. And so that's kind of where my cutoff is. It's usually around 200 to 250 depending on the machine. 20-watt machines, about 200 is about the sweet spot in my opinion. You can go higher, especially with a 5 or a 10. But yeah, I would. You just got to play with that. It takes a lot of work, Pascal. Well, I'm not always got the easiest way, and I'm not always the only way. Just remember, there's several different ways to go about a lot of this stuff. I try to keep it simple, but yeah, just you just got to keep playing with it. I would show you my little alien guy, but I've got him zipped to the wall over here. I wanted him over here beside me. But I've done lots of images. When I first got my D1, that was how I bought my second machine, was doing portraits on cedar, because I mill my own cedar and I select smooth grain pieces of cedar, and I take and engrave it, and was selling those guys, and that's how I managed to buy my second machine. Yeah, Pascal, like I said, drop your questions in that group. During the week, I try to come home in the afternoons, and I check that before I even come out here in the shop and get to working. So, what did I miss? Did Brian come up with a good idea? That's sorry, I sound so surprised. Use the sticky board from Cricut. Yeah, yeah, that would work. Brian did come up with a good idea. Hey, look at that. Good idea, Brian. I gave you the I don't have clapping. The only clapping I had, it just kept going and kept going and kept going, and I couldn't put clapping on here. But I can give you Steve's war cry. How about that? Yeah. So the lines start blending so close to the laser beam size. Yeah, depending on the machine, you've got two variables that you've got to consider when you start selecting your LPI. One, how much resolution is your medium going to take? If it's wood, depending on the size of the grain and the fibers and so forth, you may or may not be able to get that really high resolution out of it. If you're doing like mirrors or anodized aluminum, stuff like that, if you're doing some of the craft wood that's really, really fine. If you're doing MDF tends to take pixelation a little better because of the random way the fibers are arranged. all those different things are going to take a little bit away from the image as far as which LPI is better. Now, if you and I will tell you that if you're running, say you're running 80 speed at whatever power at one LPI, if you up the LPI, sometime you're going to get a little bit more burn. So you may have to actually add speed to it to keep from overburning. It's you got to play with it, and after you've been doing it for a little while, you'll get to where you kind of figure out how to guesstimate your settings. But there's no substitute for doing a couple of test runs just to make sure you can always shrink the image down really small and do a test run, and that'll kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like. And it doesn't take as long as if you make it a big image. You have to wait an hour before you can even see what the image looks like. But yeah, Pascal, research, and practice. That's how I learned that, and a whole lot of videos and just trial and error. You're going to tear up materials. You're going to waste materials learning, and then even after you think you've got it figured out, you're still going to waste materials. I missed something, John. I guess I was thinking the kid's saying yell one. All right, I missed something. Oh, wait. There it was. No, I haven't really fooled with the live hinge. I don't, like I said, I use a lot of the Luan. I don't use the like Baltic birch or the basswood and stuff like that. I have some that I've got. I guess I could play with it, but I never really found a need for it, to be honest with you. But that would be my thoughts exactly, Josh. With it being wood is only so flexible for so long. Now, certain woods I would imagine would do a lot better job than others, but I just don't really have a need for it. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, you got to keep an eye on Brian over there. Good looking out for him. He likes the sound effects. I actually started using those because of Brian, because he'll get in here, and sometimes, especially when Steve's here and Steve's been keeping his beard nice and trimmed and all that, Brian gets excited. Oh me! All right, guys, let's don't go down the rabbit hole. Saw an X2 commercial. Oh, so you just happened to see an X2 commercial and was like, I got to have one of those? I missed part of that conversation. I didn't know where y'all were going with that. Yeah, I actually started doing. No, I had to trim mine off. Oh, you think Steve got tech envy? Well, here you go. Here you go, Brian. Steve ain't got it like that. Not yet, anyway. He may have when he gets home. He does have the Stream Deck. Steve is actually the one that talked me into getting a Stream Deck. Yeah, now gravy. I've engraved some because where I live, basically, I'm on a prehistoric sandbar, and I've got lots of those big sandstones that are round and really smooth on top. And you can engrave those. It turns more of like a gray color. It just marks it more or less. Yeah, Brian, I know. I don't got a CNC yet, and I don't have the 30. Brian, good delivery, bro. Good delivery. I do not have the 36 watt Acer. Steve's got that too. Y'all just keep pouring salt in the wound on that. That's just wrong. Yeah, Chris, my property here is literally a prehistoric either sandbar or glacial bar or something, but my whole place is nothing but sand and sandstones that are like like you would find in a creek bed. That's this whole property, 100 foot up this hill behind my house. That's all it is. Yeah, well, I don't got the room for it right now. I did clear out a little bit of space over there, but whew, I'll probably get one before too long. But I'm saving my money right now, guys. I'm trying to prove to my wife that I'm responsible enough to buy that time back from when I worked. When I left my very first police career was in Montgomery, and when I left there, they didn't let me like carry my retirement with me, so I had to cash it out. And so I'm having to go back now and buy like 2.5 years worth of service back for my retirement in order to be able to retire at 25 years instead of having to work till I'm until 28 years. So that's what I'm working right now. Well, Brian, she's got all of my accounts on her iPad and her phone. So she can go in there right now and see how much money I've got. And she's on all the company paperwork too, so she can spend it if she wanted to. Decline, you ought to know the answer to this. You really should know the answer to this. Uh, First of all, without proper cleaning and maintenance, it don't matter what you do, it still has a risk of growing bacteria. But butcher block type oil, like mineral oil, and there's some other things that have like beeswax in them and stuff like that. Butcher block wax is the best thing. You want to try to coat that thing, keep it clean, and don't let any food or food products rest on it for long enough to start growing bacteria. Uh, Typically, like with bamboo, you wipe it down with some mineral oil or butcher block oil or whatever you decide. But yeah, there's a lot of oils and stuff out there. Yeah, well, Brian, that's one thing I have said is that my next purchase would probably be a fiber. I don't know. I can't decide. We'll see. But I've got to get a bigger shop before I can get too many new toys, guys. And I got to get this retirement bought back where I can take my money and try to build another shop. So it's like in phases right now. Let's see. Somebody said something. Well, I keep using the word CNC in my video. Maybe I should do a video of, like anybody want to send me a CNC. Maybe I should do that. But there's a lot of bigger YouTube channels out there that they send them to. Maybe one day, I even thought maybe like, because I know Two Trees sells a little small one, and I'm afraid it wouldn't do what I want to do with one. But I thought maybe Two Trees might like, say, hey, you want to try one of these out? And I could at least learn the basics of it. But yeah, Chris, honeybee wax works good too. And the cool thing about beeswax is it's actually antibacterial in itself. In case you guys didn't know that, little science stuff for you there. Yeah, well, maybe one day. If I can get like Steve to do some yeah, I've heard Carbide 3D, the Shapeco. I got a buddy that has a Shapeco and he loves it. Steve has a I think Steve said he's got the Onefinity, but man, those things are expensive and they take up a lot of space. So we're gonna wait and see. Pascal, if you run air assist all the time, which I recommend you do, you won't have to clean it as often. But I inspect mine before I do any lengthy burns just to make sure it's clean. And it doesn't hurt. I mean, literally, it takes just a few seconds to clean that thing. So you can't clean it too much. I'll put it to you that way. Depending on your setup, your air assist, it may require to be cleaned earlier than what mine does. Depends on what I'm engraving, Pascal. If it's wood, sometimes yes, I usually run at least 120 grit, if not 220 grit over anything wood, unless it's already pre-finished, which I try to stay away from pre-finished things. But I also take and I stain like my stove covers and stuff like that after I engrave them. Brian, what did Brian say something about making blankets? Glock magazine on a 10 watt. Give me just a second. Let me refer to my notes. Uh, 10 watt power settings. On a 10 watt X Tool D1 on a Glock magazine, 60 speed at 75% power was effective for me. Now, maybe different for your setup. You actually could probably go less than that on the power setting, but that's what I went with. Oh, man, I'm starting to yawn, guys. I'm getting sleepy. I hadn't eaten supper yet either because I was in a hurry to get out here. Sorry if that's spam. What? Yes and yes. I missed it. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. It's tough. So how should I run my HR air assist when engraving? Let me put it to you this way. If you're only engraving, my opinion is just give it enough flow to where that it doesn't allow the gases and the smoke to go back up in the laser. You don't have to run it wide open. You will find that sometimes when you're engraving, if you do run air assist, your engraves will be cleaner and more consistent because as it's engraving, it's blowing that soot out of the cut. And so it allows it to, on the next pass, instead of trying to engrave over the soot from the line before it, it blows that soot away. And so you will find that you get deeper, more consistent engraves sometimes using air assist on certain materials. But I always run mine at least partially on so that it'll cut through it. Barbecue, I've heard bad things about vinyl. It releases chlorine gas. There is a test that you can do using a really hot piece of copper wire. You may want to look that up as far as vinyl material testing for laser engravers. I didn't do the video, but I know there's some videos out there. Yeah, I would be careful, and regardless of what you're engraving, guys, try to use good ventilation. And, be mindful, too, that some things may not hurt you, but they could possibly damage your machine that are released during engraving. Steve would really go into this if he were here because he's really big on, making sure you guys understand that. And I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to be, disabled because they were using a laser to cut something they shouldn't have. So, yeah, be very, very careful when experimenting with materials. Yep. Yeah, you never know what's inside some of this stuff, guys. Like I said, sometimes I engrave on things I probably shouldn't, but I try to make sure I've got them in the enclosure, well ventilated, and so far so good. Trying to sell my computerized frame and the computerized embroidery machine. Well, Pascal, the only problem you're going to run into if you turn the air assist too high is you may start getting a little more scorching from the velocity of the air going over the material. But if it's something that you're going to touch with a sander afterwards, do you really care if it has a little more scorch? So if it's something you're planning on sanding, then there really isn't a such thing as too much air assist. If it's something that you're not going to sand or you're not going to be able to sand, sometimes air assist will cause a little extra scorching for you. Well, Pascal, I've got mine regulated at 10 psi, which is what I've found is great for cutting. I use shop air. It's a little different than an air compressor, but there are times that I cut it a quarter of the way up, half the way up, to get the effect that I want. And that's I could make a whole series of videos about how air assist can make a difference in your cut. For instance, yes guys, I got my short pants on today. Oh, my hip is killing me today. For instance, this is a piece that I cut out with these are those little hat boxes I made. And I cut this out with the Acer. And I don't know if you can see it, but instead of this, well, my hand's clean, right, guys? I haven't done nothing to this, but took it out of the machine and set it over there. So I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to wipe the cuts here. Normally with plywood, you would get like a whole bunch of black soot on your hand, right? Not if you got the right amount of air pressure. I run 10 psi to the regulator, and that helps keep down. It gives me more of the brown golden finish here as opposed to all that soot. Now you're going to get a little bit. I mean, you're burning wood. You're going to get some, but instead of like me being able to take my thumb and just run it down through here and it be black, I got very little soot. So that's the biggest benefit to running air assist and getting the right amount of pressure is when you're cutting. Engraving, it does affect engraving, but the most benefit you're going to get is when cutting, because you're going to be able to cut thicker material easier, and it's going to have smoother, cleaner cuts with not a whole lot of scorching on the material. But I got a whole video on my setup for air assist as well. Could use a Dremel type tool to cut the cover off the D1 laser module. The D1, it just unscrews. Yep. The D1 cover actually just unscrews. See, there's 2 screws that hold it on, and you take it off. Neither one, matter of fact, I got a box. I got a box up here that's got the little covers, just a whole bunch of them. Yeah, ET, smoke getting on the lens will contribute to your lens wearing out early. Also, make sure you're not getting water in your lens if you're using shop air or some type of air compressor. Because especially like since I put the air conditioning in my building, I've had to add water separators, and I need to add more because I'm starting to see a little bit of water. But I've got a water separator right as it goes into the enclosure. But I had to empty all those today, and a couple of them were about half full. So you want to keep an eye on that and make sure you don't do that. Well, Sharon, if the screws are stripped out, yeah, technically you could. You could also, if you've got somebody that's got you could drill those screws out if you were really careful, but that would be something I would be careful with to be able to do that. But If you took a Dremel tool with like a cutoff wheel, like one of those sandpaper cutoff wheels, yes, you could cut through that acrylic relatively easy with a Dremel. You could also go and buy a little small. They sell a little small, little bandsaw looking thing, and I've got one over there that I used to make screens with. And you could do that. You could possibly, if you had the right size bit or right size tool, you could possibly use like an impact and zip those little guys out. But yeah, if you just want to cut it off, you can. I wonder if I think it's in a drawer over there with my screen making my stuff. Yeah, the Acer Air Assist, I never had any problems with getting moisture until like I said, I didn't have a problem with it until I put the air conditioning in here. The temperature differences is what's causing me to suddenly see moisture, I think. So I've had to beef up my water separators. All right, guys, questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, the Acer one works pretty well. Atom Stacks works good. Uh, Now, I will tell you, the new machine, the new L2, comes with the exact same air assist pump as the old one. So, well, Pascal, I, I have a video for that. I've got videos for most anything. Uh, so, it's very simple. The more pure alcohol you can use, the better. There you go, right there. Uh, cool. Another one fixed during the live, guys. But Pascal, add that one to your watch list right there. That's how I clean my X-Tool D1, and I think that's what you said you had. Yeah, see there? I told you that the file that Xtool wants you to use. It sometimes I have had people say that they did it, but it didn't go. So I hope the video was helpful. I'm assuming you did use the video. We're gonna take credit for that. You used the video anyway. But glad you got it working. But yeah, anytime you go to put the Xtool on another machine, you can actually keep that file and save it somewhere, and that way, if you do swap it around, you can just reinstall it. I don't think they've changed that file since the machine came out. But yeah, subscribe for more interesting content there, Sheena. There's all kinds of videos. As we're learning tonight, I have a video for most anything. When you get ready to start. Yeah, Sharon, we have So Charming here in town. It's one of Maymay's friends and one of my friends, and they do quilting. They have a, what do they call it? Uh, they call it something else. It's like it's a group, but they have a name for it. Is it a guild? Quilting guild or something? I think they call it. But they do a lot of stuff like that. Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't the one I was trying to click. There it is. Yeah, guys. Very important. Well, Klein, your spelling there. Your typing or your spelling one just went all bad. But Klein learned from experience. I had a machine that I'd been using for a year, never had a problem with it. It went to live with Klein, and it went through 2 lenses in about 2 months because his cleaning regimen was not as good as mine. So the cleaner you can keep your laser, the better off you are. It makes it run cooler. It keeps the glass from getting messed up in the lens. Make sure you take and use either a can of compressed air or use compressed air to blow the heat sinks that are inside that module. Make sure you keep those clean so they don't get hot. That's another thing. Yeah, quilt guild. That's what they call it, Brian. Chris said he's a perpetual student and part-time teacher. Hey, I tell you, mistakes are the best teacher you can find. Well, Sheena, like I got watch lists. I got you can go in the channel and there's playlists in there. You can select on Lightburn and watch all of my Lightburn related playlist. If you're looking at getting another machine, you can go in there and look at reviews and watch all of my reviews videos. You can watch those things until your heart is content, and I appreciate it. And you can share it with other people to help me out as well. Anthony, oh me. I actually have a video for that. There's a parts list to everything I use to make EnclosureZilla in the video. So if you're interested in making one, or if you just want to like go look at the parts that I used, that's in the description of the video, so you can go check that out. That's the video on EnclosureZilla right there, and all the extra parts, the nibble honeycomb, the machine, the extension, everything I think is in the description down below there. How many hours between cleaning? that's one of those things that varies. It varies on whether you're using a downdraft setup or whether you're using a top exhaust fan, whether you're running X amount of air pressure. There's a whole lot of variables. If you're going to be burning, I would say at least every 2 to 3 hours of run time, you need to be checking it, if not cleaning it. Just to be sure. And you'll learn your machine. You'll learn the different materials that get it dirtier than others. Some materials, you may be cutting one sheet of plywood one day and the machine stay relatively clean. The next day, you got more glue pockets. You got more the Bondo stuff on the material or whatever, and it'll get dirty. Humidity is going to affect that. Like I said, there's a lot of variables. So I would just evaluate it, inspect it. If you start seeing that the tip of your nozzle is getting dirty, the lens is going to need to be cleaned. So every time you clean your machine, make sure you get the nozzle of the air assist, get it squeaky clean. If you ever look over there and that thing's black or looks like it's got something about to drip off of it, it definitely needs trimming. Needs cleaning. So, well, hello there, Renee. Man, it's just like the who's who in here tonight. What's up with that? Well, guys, there's Renee. She's another one of my neighbors up here. She does the bomb party stuff, which is y'all can tell I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but that's what Renee and them do with jewelry and stuff. Miss Sharon and Dottie. I don't know if Dottie's even in here, but she might be familiar with you. Sharon may have watched you before. Well, thanks for sharing there, Renee. Brian, are you being funny saying I got a video? But it's everybody's asking questions, guys, that I've got a video about, and I mean I don't, that's the name of the game, I mean, I try to make these videos to help you guys out so y'all can reference it whenever you need, and so yes, I'm going to push those videos if I can. Oh, cool. Yep. Well, thank you, Sheena. I've got, like I said, I don't do as much with the D1 now because I've got newer machines, and I use my X tool for events and stuff. So, but I still do use it, and I have a lot of videos that I've made before. But thanks for stopping by, and hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn a lot more about it. Cat told you to stop watching and feed it. Yeah, my cats are over there munching now. I just filled their little feeder thing up. Anthony, are you talking? Are we speaking about me? I'm not. I don't know about H or Hero, but thanks if that's what you meant, or if you're talking about Brian. That right there. That little comment right there. Y'all trying to start something. Yeah, I agree, Jack. Painted canvas, anything with spray paint on it. That spray paint, man, it can really mess one up in a heartbeat. Oh, let's see. Well, good deal, Tom. At least I'm not the only one that has tried that thing. I've seen 3 or 4 people have sent me pictures of one they built. Renee, the city festival was fun. It was good. I stayed very busy. I need to recruit some more help. Klein did come help me, and I appreciate that. Went a lot better than the one before. But yeah. Yeah, yeah, Brian. It seems like everybody's asking about something that's in a video tonight. So yeah, I mean, hey, I always use more views, more subscribers, more shares, follows, likes, comments. All that stuff helps because YouTube's not been kind to me in the past month or two. I've been staying busy, and it hasn't been what it was in the past. But I think Sheena's already left, but appreciate it. Well, Klein, if y'all knew how many times I get asked the same question over and over, you can bet if there's a video gets put out on how to do something with a laser, that's usually a good indicator that somebody has asked me that probably 10 times. And I try to explain it through text messages to people. And after a while, it's like, okay, I got to make a video on this. Need to do a behind the scenes how I make videos, my video for everyone now. Yeah, yeah. My videos are very simple. I don't get too off in the weeds with editing a lot of times. I try to take a lot of because I have a habit when I'm recording a video and it's not a live, and I know I do it in the lives too. For y'all point that out to me, but I tend to repeat myself more than is necessary. And so when I edit, a lot of times you'll see where there's an abrupt like skip. It's because I repeated something like 4 times, and I was like, why did I do that? And so I have to cut that out of there. Yeah, Pascal. Right now I've got them hanging in places. My buddy Klein there's got 3 of them. So right now I've got them. I've got plenty of use for them at the moment. Yeah, Renee, I know it. I'm ready to become a full-time Clack Shack person, employee, instead of having a full-time job, but it ain't worked out for me yet. I tried getting my daughter to come up there and put in an application with y'all, Renee. She's really good at customer service and stuff like that. So maybe you should solicit her. She works at in customer service currently, and she's really good with computers as well. Her dad taught her how to use computers at a young age. So she needs something with benefits and retirement. Do you have benefits and retirement at the post office? Yes, Klein, you have inspired a few videos. Does that in the unit meet? Well, sometimes people don't listen, so you have to repeat yourself, Klein. Yeah, Brian. Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought I'd be on YouTube. The first few videos I did just to help people out in a Facebook group I was a member of, and it just evolved over time. If I'd have set out to be a YouTuber, it probably wouldn't have worked. Well, Renee, I might try to get her to come see you. She's definitely interested. I would think in a different job because she's 22, and she's not going to be able to ride my insurance much longer. So she's probably going to need to. She's probably going to need to get something that has insurance benefits and stuff. The Clack Shack Museum. Now, Pascal, I donate some of the machines to local school program, like STEM program, where they do robotics and lasers and stuff like that. I've got a bunch of machines set up to go to them, as well as some peripherals and safety gear and stuff like that. I try to make good use out of it, and then of course I trained Klein on some of the 5-watt machines that I have, and then once he got to where he was proficient with a 5-watt machine, he's now moved up to where he's got some different machines and he's doing his own thing. Klein more or less handles my overflow, like, because sometimes I get so many jobs that I can't stay caught up, and so I've been outsourcing a lot of those jobs to Klein, and then he's actually took, and those customers have came back for other jobs, and so now I think he's about got all the work that he can keep up with at this point. So it was more of a, me and him. I mean, he came over one day and was like, "Man, that's cool. I'd like to learn how to work it." So I gave him a machine, told him to go learn it, and he did. So, and now he's making him a little bit of money. I think he just got him a table saw for Father's Day, I think. So he's getting some tools together to where he can do a little more work. All right, did my comments freeze, or did y'all just quit commenting? Because this is unusual that it stayed in the same spot this long. Oh, geez, 2 hours and 16 minutes, guys. Y'all got me distracted, and we done run late. My supper's going to be cold. But if you hadn't, guys, if anybody's still here, it says they are, but if anybody hasn't, please hit the subscribe button, like, follow, share my channel and Steve's Ventari's Workshop. I know Steve's not here, but he is still, he's still with us in spirit. And so y'all go give him a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. But I've got to get off of here and go get ready for bed. Y'all got me distracted with all the questions, and I did not realize we'd been on here for 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 13 seconds. But as always, guys, it was fun. Keep learning, keep studying, keep watching those videos, of course. And if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, and you want to join up with the laser engraving community group, then go join that group. Chris, I think most everybody that's in the lives is in that group. And guys, sometimes I might not be available to answer your questions, but some of these guys are actually more knowledgeable about certain parts of these machines than I am. Especially like with Jeff, I think he's got a fiber. A couple of other guys got a fiber. I can't remember who all have them. So they have knowledge that I don't even have. I just happen to have this, camera that helps me share it with you guys. But those guys will share information with you and help you out best they can in the Laser Engraver community group. But just remember, give more than you take. If you go in there and start spamming us with sales stuff, there's going to be repercussions. We want everybody to be able to participate, but like I said, it is where we work together and help each other. It's not for my benefit. It's not for Steve's benefit. It's not for, other people who don't do anything with our channel's benefit when they come in there just want to sell stuff. But until next time, guys, and hopefully next week Steve will be back. Yeah, Chris, between all of us, we know everything. Yeah, we know everything lasers between everybody in the group. But until next time, guys, y'all be safe and have a good day.